Hey guys, so the past 2 days have been pretty heavy with the news of the tragic and really sudden passing of Kobe and his daughter Gianna Bryant's death. There's just something about it. I must say I wasn't even a Kobe Bryant fan, as in I didn't really watch or follow, the game and the teams, but I very much was a basketball fan and still am a basketball fan since high school when I played, and I can honestly say that game honestly changed my entire life, and it made me a better person. And I think it's something that I will always appreciate, and I would encourage my children to play basketball. I always say to my husband, because it's an incredible sport, and I know that guys like Kobe were my absolute heroes at the time, and I looked up to them, and I would spend hours on the court trying to copy them, and I was by far the best basketball player. But I played shooting guard, and I would spend time on the court when nobody was there and shoot and practice and visualize, like Michael Jordan would do, and I would do extra reps on the court and get, most dedicated player, because I just love the sport so much. And so I don't know why it hit home so much. Maybe because he died with his daughter, a whole family was wiped out in that same helicopter crash. I guess it was also because, I was on campus of, my alma mater last week. And I guess being on campus again obviously reminded me of my studying time and days, and what a hectic roller coaster ride it was. And specifically last week I was looking at, just thinking about, am I crazy? Am I crazy for, as some of you may know, I quit my job last year, and I studied 2 engineering degrees. You'd think that secures you for a safe, happy, comfortable life, and I walked away from it. I walked away from my job as a management consultant at one of the big 4, and you'd think that everything was fine there, and I still walked away to pursue my dreams and to start my business. And many times I think to myself, was I crazy to make such a choice? I think a lot of people, friends and family both, still think that I am, but as I mentioned in my video of quitting my job, that conviction that I read in Exodus about what is in your hand. What is in your hand that you have, that you were given, and every single one of us were given gifts, a calling, a purpose. God knows the plans that He has for us, because He created us. And what is that thing that we were each given that we are supposed to act on, that we are thinking we have more time to execute, and we are kind of waiting for a better time, for more resources, for more money, for more whatever. And I'm not saying everybody should quit their job, not at all, but I think this death hit me hard, because it reminded me again how short life is, and life is so fragile, and it can be taken away from you at any moment. Nothing is guaranteed, and we have a responsibility to live out that life and reach our full potential and do everything with whatever we were given, not just for ourselves but for other people. And I think one of the big things about last week as well was the person I was meeting on campus just as I was thinking about, you know, what my career could have been as an engineer, you know, I was meeting a lady who I've become quite close with, who had lost her husband 1 year from a very sudden, you know, surprising heart attack, and they had just finished building their house together, and now she's living in the house that is finished, finally, that they had been dreaming of creating together, but she's living in it alone. And it doesn't mean much when you only enjoy it by yourself. The year after that, she lost her daughter, who happened to be pregnant, from a really completely random blood clot. Just like that. Her daughter, who was pregnant, and her grandchild, who she was getting ready to welcome into the world, were taken away from her, and the year before, her husband. And I cannot imagine the amount of grief. I was at her daughter's memorial service and I bawled like a baby, and I hadn't even met her daughter, just from the empathy of really feeling for that kind of loss. I mean, I don't have children, I only have a husband, and just the thought of waking up alone every day in the house and the home that you guys have built up together is a nightmare that you can't imagine going through. And these two events happened a year apart, and what she told me is that really appreciate everything that you have, every moment that you are given is a gift and a blessing, and you shouldn't be wishing the time away. You shouldn't ever be waking up and wishing anything away or thinking too far ahead into the future. All you have is now, and you need to be so happy with it. It needs to be everything to you. And I must say, now that I have resigned from my job and thinking about these kinds of situations, you know, I would do it all over again, and I feel like it's one of the best, it probably is the best decision I made for myself, because I now wake up with purpose. I wake up and get out of my bed immediately, and I'm so excited and ready for what I get to do that day. I get to work. It's not like I have to work. And that mindset, that mind shift has completely changed my life, and I would wish that upon everybody, to be able to live out their purpose and use their gifts every day and be compensated for that is the ultimate dream. And you know, as opposed to what I was doing at my work, where I would wake up, the alarm would ring, and the first thing I'd want to do is pull the covers back over my head to fall back asleep, because I didn't want to face the day, and I didn't want to be there, and I didn't want to, you know, do the work I was doing, because it just wasn't enough for me. And I just knew that I needed to be doing so much more. So it's, you know, what's comforting about this is that Kobe truly lived out his potential. He did what he had to do, and he died with, you know, he loved being a girl dad, and he died being exactly that. And he lived, and he put everything into what he was doing. He used his talents fully, and he inspired other people to do the same. And so, you know, that is an incredible achievement. It is something that, like, what could you it's something you ask yourself, like, what more could you want? And one of his quotes that are going around at the moment, which I love, is the most important thing is to try and inspire people so that they can be great in whatever they want to do. And that rings so true for his legacy. It rings so true for what he did, and he left that legacy, and I think that is the ultimate goal. That's the ultimate thing that we should all aim to do. And you know, he left a legacy. He did what he needed to do, and you know, I'm so glad that I can honestly say that if I died tomorrow, I would be happy knowing that I was found doing what I was supposed to do, doing what I wanted to do, and I know that the extent to which we are able to make that choice with our current situations is different, but we still have that choice. We still have a choice to step into our purpose and use what we have and start where we are. And so I guess today's message is about what is in your hand. What is in your hand that you need to hold on to with everything that you have before it's too late, and actually use to launch your legacy, to share your offering into the world and give it all you've got. What is in your hand? Just use it. Don't waste any more time. There is no more time, and we need to be on a mission to fulfill our purpose. What's in your hand?